Hello, my name is Wedoo and welcome back to yet another video. Back in 2012 and 13, the Walking Dead comics and show were in their prime, so Telltale Games decided to create their own story within the Walking Dead universe. The games were so loved and critically acclaimed that it had 3 other seasons and a spin-off. You can play this collection of games by getting them individually, or you can get the Telltale Definitive Series in which it contains all the 5 games in one. If you know me or the channel already, I have challenged myself to play all the games and get all the achievements. I could play the Definitive Series and get its 23 achievements and make a 20-minute video about it, but if you are here and watching the timetable of the video, you know that is not happening. I played all the 6 games, yes, all the 5 individual games and the Definitive Series, and got all of the achievements. By doing so, you can get 210 achievements, and about 95% of them are obtainable by just playing the games. This is how it went. In Season 1, we follow the story of Lee, a former UGA professor that was going to jail when the apocalypse started. After the car wreck, Lee is stranded in the wilderness of Georgia, where he witnesses the transformation of the officer into a walker. He shoots him, granting us our first achievement, out of the frying pan. After escaping a horde of walkers, Lee enters the suburbs and into a house, where he meets Clementine over the radio. Inspecting and adding another walker kill to the count, granting us the Adventures in Babysitting achievement, we need to decide if we should go search for help during the daytime or wait for nighttime. I decided to search during the daytime, meeting Michonne and Chet, and after helping them with the car and walker situation, we set off to Herschel's farm, getting the In Your Charge achievement. Already in Herschel's farm, we meet Sean's father, spend the night, and met the other family, Kenny, Katja, and Doug. After some talking and getting to know each other, we hear close cries from Sean and Doug. I saved Doug from the walkers and let Sean die. Herschel kicked us out, and Kenny, his family, Clem, and Lee set off to another place, getting the Rock and Hard Place achievement. The group went to Macon, where they were saved by another group hiding in the local pharmacy. Both group fights about Doug and a non-existent bite. Clem gets attacked and Larry gets an heart attack. Lee gets to meet everyone, completing mini side quests like Carly's radio problem, cleaning the office, and Doug's inspection on the front gate. This will unlock another side quest going to the Mother Inn, where we need to clear all of the walkers from the motel without much noise and saving a girl trapped in one of the rooms. After clearing every walker, we notice that the girl has been bitten, and she asks to take care of it in her own way. We abide by her request and went on our way to the pharmacy, getting its just 1 bullet achievement. With the fire axe retrieved from the Mother Inn, we can advance even further to get the keys to the pharmacy. Lee kills his brother, already a walker, and retrieves the keys, getting us the A-Bud achievement. After entering the closed-off part of the pharmacy, the alarm goes off and every walker in the area will be at the pharmacy. Everyone prepares to fight and to leave. However, Doug and Carly need help and we can only save one of them. I saved Carly and got the 2 enter, 1 leaves achievement. We get knocked out by Larry, but Kenny helps us to get back on our. The group decides to set up camp in the Mother Inn. Glenn separates from the group. Lee talks with the whole group and suddenly the lights go out, finishing the episode and getting the Everything's Going to Be Okay achievement. Already in the second episode, we meet the new member of the group, Mark, hearing a cry for help, a man trapped by a bear trap, and some kids trying to help. You can either chop his leg off or don't. I chopped his leg off and we took David and Ben to the Mother Inn, while Travis got surrounded by walkers. This will get us the Going Hungry achievement. Lee was asked by Lily to ration the food and select who is going to eat. We help Katja, talk with everyone in the Mother Inn, and take care of the reanimated body of David, getting us the Conversation Killer achievement. We learn that everyone is infected, meaning that if we die and don't destroy the brain, everyone will turn. Meanwhile, 2 brothers invite us to their farm, trading food for gas. We witness some raiders, and after arriving at the farm, we talk with the farm owners, the St. John's. Lee and Mark agree to help with the fence, and while clearing the walkers, some raider attack. Running away, the St. John's take care of Mark, while the rest of the group arrives at the farm. Lee talks with the group and the St. John's, and meanwhile, he adventures with Danny to one of the raider camps. We discovered the missing Clementine net, and we were just jumped by one of the raiders. Danny shoots her, granting us "Thank you for shopping at Saves Lots" achievement, and we go back to the farm. Lee talks even more about the group and the St. John's. We investigate a little bit further. Everyone goes for dinner and Lee gets caught by Andrew. While on dinner time, Lee gets to explore a little bit further out of the Owls and discover Mark legless. Going down to stop everyone eating Mark's legs, the St. John's confess what they are doing and everyone is taken hostage, getting us the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner achievement. Inside the meat locker, Kenny and Larry have an argument, and whilst trying to find a way out of the meat locker, Larry collapses on the floor and we need to decide if we should help Kenny or help Lily. Of course, I help Kenny, killing Larry in the process and getting the too much salt will kill you achievement. We get out of the meat locker, select the weapon best suited to take down the St. John's. While trying to sneak, Danny spots us, we fight and then kill him in the process, getting the Taking Charlotte achievement. We go to Brenda and the zombified Mark kills her and Andrew gets stuck. We fight him and spare his life just for him to get eaten by walkers, getting us You Fight Like a Dairy Farmer achievement. Going back to the motor inn, the group sees a stranded car with a lot of supplies and we decide to take them all, proving useful for the group. We get batteries for the camcorder and we see a recording of the raider shot by Danny, wording us It's Not Stealing If You Need It achievement, and the episode ends. Moving towards episode 3, Kenny and Lee are in the ruins of a downtown Macon near the pharmacy to get some remaining supplies. While discussing the events of the prior episode, the woman runs to the street screaming. You can opt to kill her or let her succumb to the walkers to give you more time to scavenge. I did let her succumb to the walkers, granting us goodbye, she quietly says, and getting us enough time to get all the supplies. In the motor inn, tensions rise between Lily and Kenny, and after some conversation choices, we are granted the Bad Blood achievement. We need to discover who is stealing from our rations, as well as tell everyone about our past, as a part of the Carly mini-side mission. Whilst telling everyone, we try to decipher who is the traitor among us. With some clues found and supplies hidden in the ventilation compartment, we tell Lily, and some raiders appear taking hostages. After defending what is left of the motor inn from raiders and walkers, the group takes off to someplace else, getting us the Eat the Road achievement. Lily tries to find out who was the traitor amongst the group. The RV stops and Lily appoints Ben as the guilty. Carly defends Ben, making Lily furious, shooting Carly when nobody is paying attention. We decide to leave Lily on the road alone and go forward. Kenny and Katja reveal that Doug was beaten during the raid and he doesn't have enough time, and we arrive at another blockade. A train, getting us What Now achievement. We explore parts of the train and get it moving, and get to meet someone new, Chuck. With the train already moving, and with a new plan in mind, Doug's situation gets even worse, needing to stop the train, getting us the Handle It achievement. Katja heads off to the woods to put Doug out of his misery, and after the shot is heard, we go to her to see if everything is fine. However, Katja did put her out of her misery, and we deal with Doug once and for all. With the train moving, Chuck gives Lee a piece of advice that will help Clementine in the long run, teaching her how to shoot and cutting her hair. After getting the map, Ben will confess that he was the one stealing the supplies from the motor inn, and talking with him, Leah devises a plan with Clementine to see what they will do once the group arrives in Savannah, granting us the Unexpected Delay achievement. The train stops again due to another obstacle, and the group meets Krista and Omid. Lee explores with Clementine, and after talking with the newcomers and gets new material to get the blockade out of the way. After using the blowtorch with the help of Omid, Ben sees the herd in the distance, giving us the Look Beyond You achievement. Still on the bridge, Lee pushes Omid off the bridge and helps him into the train. Almost arriving in Savannah, Clementine walkie-talkie goes off, with the voice of a stranger behind it, finishing off the episode and getting us the Lend Me Your Ears achievement. Episode 4 is set in Savannah, and the group is walking in the streets of the city looking for the next plan. The bell tolls, the stranger warns us, and walkers entrap us, making us go into an abandoned house, bringing us Georgia First City achievement. We try to discover how to unlock the house, finding that Clementine is very useful regarding small spaces, looking around the house, killing the zombified proprietor of the house, and reuniting him with his dog. Kenny and Lee go to the waterfront district to try and find a boat, however it proves pointless. We meet Molly, and all of the walkers that have been surveying the area entrap us. Molly gives her tool to Lee, and he goes to the sewers, unlocking down by the river. We see Charles' dead body and enter a shelter full of old people. Vernon, the leader of the group, will take care of Omid for us, and Molly has briefly joined the group, unlocking support group. Vernon takes care of Omid, Ben stays useless, Molly explores the manor, Kenny gets drunk, Lee gets out of the house, we unlock Bedside Manor, and Clementine finds a boat in the shed of the house. Some parts are missing, so the entire group and Vernon devise a plan to go to Crawford. Already there, Crawford is overrun with walkers, and we need to get into the school, unlocking George's last city. Into the homeroom, the group sets tasks and who should tackle what. Firstly, Lee will go with Molly, get the battery, the auto shop, and get some exposition of Molly's backstory for being surrounded by walkers. We get the battery, get surrounded by even more walkers, escape through the roof, get back into the school, save Kenny with another horde of walkers trying to enter the school after Bree and him successfully get some gas. Lee goes to the nursing station to find some medical supplies for Vernon's and his group, get some more exposition of how Crawford was through a tape, get 2 more tapes, get access to the medical supplies and learn about Molly's secret. Meanwhile, a horde of walkers enter the school due to Ben being dumb. Ben confesses everything to Kenny, Bree gets eaten alive, and at the top of the tower, Ben is caught by a walker, and you need to decide if you want to save him or not. In the end, I decided to save him, and everyone escapes Crawford, unlocking For Whom the Bell Tolls. Vernon shows his true colors. Unfortunately, we make Clementine cry, and in the morning after, she disappears without a trace, and Lee gets bitten trying to fight a walker. I decided to show the bite to the group, and the group thinks it was Vernon and his group that kidnapped Clementine, so they head their shelter, unlocking the morning after. The group arrives at the shelter, and it's empty. The stranger speaks on the walkie-talkie again, assuring Lee as Clementine, and the episode ends, unlocking Penultimate. Straight to the last episode of Season 1, the group tries to escape the shelter, and while doing so, Lee collapses into the ground due to the walker bite. You have the choice between cutting the arm off or letting it be. I have decided to keep the arm, and we go to the roof. The group witnesses a large horde of walkers and try to find a way to escape, unlocking into the fire. Lee decides to use the Molly technique and rings the bell so they can move around town, and the group finally goes back to the manor, discovering that Vernon and his group has stolen the boat for themselves. Kenny and Ben fight before a huge horde of walkers bursts into the manor. Lee kills Bree, and the group goes to the upper floor, then into Arctic, unlocking Twice Shy. Lee collapses again, Kenny and him fight, and during the fight they discover that the wall is fragile, and they go to the connecting house, and after doing so, their Ain't No Way is unlocked. The group decides to keep to the roof, which is way safer, but unfortunately, Ben, the last one to jump to the roof, falls down and is impaled. Kenny tries to save him, and this is where we last see Kenny and Ben. Lee, Krista, and Omid continue onto the rooftops, unlocking Mercy. Lee is separated from them after going to another building, and the onslaught of walkers begin, one after the other, and this is why I decided to have the both arms, because it seems cooler. After spotting, Lee enters the Marsh house, unlocking the Marsh house, and is face to face with the stranger. They talk and they argue. Clem escapes and attacks the stranger. Lee fights him, and Clem, in the end, shoots him. Lee learns that when someone is covered by walker guts, walkers don't notice them, so it's one of the safest ways to navigate through them. After going to the streets, what's in the bag unlocks, and while roaming in the streets, Clem spots her zombified parents, and Lee collapses once more, unlocking Stay Close to Me. Clem hides Lee and herself in a jewelry store. Lee confesses about the bite, and he's too weak to move around, so he tells Clementine what to do. Clem then gets attacked by a walker, whilst trying to get the keys and a gun, and then immediately kills the walker with a baseball bat. Then I decided to put Lee out of his misery, unlocking What Remains, and finishing off the last episode of Season 1. Before going to Season 2, there's still the 400 Days DLC. There are 5 playable characters and their unique achievements. You could start with anyone, but there are 2 out of 7 achievements that you need to select certain choices to unlock them. I have started with Wyatt's story, because his achievement is one of the hardest because it's completely based on luck or randomness. After escaping someone, Wyatt and Eddie hit someone or something, and to decide who is going to check on the person or walker, they will have a rock paper scissors contest. There are 3 rounds, and of course you need to win 2 of them. However, it is luck based, or rather completely random. If you think you are going to lose, you can reload the save and replay until this point. Only in my 5th or 6th attempt I was able to do it, and unlocked 2 out of 3. I finished the rest of the episode leaving Eddie behind, finishing his story, unlocking Abandoner started Russell's episode. This one is pretty simple regarding the last one. When you see the vehicle, you just need to wind yourself in the bush and you will see the corpse of Carly, unlocking Reunited. You will complete the story without much hassle, but in the end, during the pit stop, I just left Nate all by himself, unlocking friends like these. Going to Vince's episode, you don't need to do much, just choose between who are you going with, and I have chosen to go with Justin, unlocking Chain Gang. Shell's episode is straightforward as well, just need to decide if you want to take out the trespasser or not. I decided to let him out of the camp, however the camp will be attacked because of that. Finishing the episode will unlock Paradise Lost. On to the last episode. Bonnie's episode will be straightforward as well, you just need to decide if you are truthful or not, and you will unlock who goes there. Onto the epilogue, Tavia, a recruiter for a settlement, goes to the camp where everybody is. Tavia can either go with everyone or just one person. In my save file, I was able to recruit everyone, Shell being the only exception, unlocking loose ends. Season 2 portrays Clementine adventures a few months after Lee. While using the public bathroom, accompanied by Omid and Krista, a stranger appears, holding Clem at gunpoint. Omid tries to sneak in, but gets shot. However, the stranger gets blasted by Krista. Another time skip occurs and we are with Krista. We tend to the fireplace and hear Krista arguing with someone. We see who it is and Clem needs to escape, and after doing that, River runs cold and locks. We explore the coast and the woods until we see a stray dog. He leads Clem to the Zoner camp, unlocking shelter, where we try to find some food. After finding a can, we hear a walker trapped by a tree. Kill him, take the knife, open the can, get bit by the dog, and kill him. Or not. We escape and get trapped by walkers, but get saved by Luke and Pete, unlocking On the Path. Pete and Luke get scared because Clem is bitten, and they don't know what it is. And ultimately, Clem passes out before arriving into the cabin, unlocking Now What? In the cabin, a whole new group tries to decide what to do with Clem because of the uncertainty of Clem's bite origin, so they lock her in the shed. Clem does everything to escape and grab medical supplies in the cabin to at least heal the wound. Clem meets Sarah, the duck of season 2, and bonds a little with her. We get the supplies that we need, unlocking Sneaky, and get back to the shed, where Clementine treats the wound with the most amount of effort, but a walker gets into the shed. We kill him, unlocking Still Not Bitten, and the group goes to the shed to see what happened. After some character exposition, we learn more about the group of the survivors and get to the next day, unlocking Edited Out. Clem goes to the riverbank with Pete and Nick, where we witness the remains of the battle and search what we can find. We see some of the people that attacked Clem and Krista, and before having some information about Krista, I heard attacks, and we need to decide between who we should accompany, Nick or Pete. I've chosen Pete because he was bitten in the leg, and the episode ends, unlocking Split Decision. Already with episode 2, we enter an abandoned truck and get some more character exposition by Pete, giving a smoke and then figuring out a plan to get out of there. Pete sacrifices himself to get an open window for Clem to escape and warn the rest of the group, unlocking New Morning. Clem heads back to the cabin, warns the group, and everyone but Sarah and Clem go out to find Pete. After a while, a mystery man enters their house and tries to search the house, giving antagonistic vibes, and when he finds a photo of Sarah, he bids farewell, unlocking the intruder. The group comes back after a while and gives more exposition about this mystery man, who in the end turns out to be Carver, their former acquaintance. The group goes to look for Pete and escapes the cabin into a safer place, unlocking Moving On. We see Pete not very much alive and headed to the mountains. We arrive at the bridge where Clem and Luke go scouting for any walkers or unfriendly people. We kill walkers, go to the bridge, unlocking Over the Bridge, have a standoff with walkers, see someone in the other side of the bridge who seems friendly enough until Nick screws everything with his trigger-happy persona, killing Matthew in the process, and the group continues to head on into the mountains, unlocking a stranger. They see a little shack, rest and take some food, and move forward to the ski lodge. Already there, we scout for anyone of the Carver's gang until a standoff occurs, where we find that Kenny is alive and in good health, inviting us inside the lodge, unlocking Old Friends. We get some more character exposition about what happened with Kenny between season 1 and this episode, and get to meet everyone in the lodge. By dinner time, I have decided to sit near Kenny to know more about him, get outside and talk with Walter and Kenny, and see Bonnie from the 400 Days DLC spying over us. Luke later finds out that Matthew is part of the Lodge's group and that Walter is grieving. He ultimately discovers that something has happened with Matthew, and Clem convinces that Nick is a good person, unlocking past midnight. The wind turbines go out of control, alarming every walker in the vicinity. We try to turn off the wind turbine, but it is too late because the herd is attacking the lodge. Clem and the group cleans up more walkers, and when checking on Alvin and Becca, Carver and his group appear, taking everyone hostage. Carver kills Walter and injures Carlos and everyone, but Luke gets taken by Carver to his place, ending the episode, unlocking Reunion. Approaching episode 3, the group is taken to Carver's refuge, and after arriving, Fresh Fish gets unlocked. We meet Reggie, one of the group's acquaintances before they escaped, Mike, and a mystery woman. Clem tries to investigate the compound that they are trapped in, and after finding nothing, a new day goes by. Sarah gets smacked by her father. We do some errands with Bonnie and Reggie, where we don't cuddle Sarah and do our own job, making Carver angry, and he pushes Reggie off the ledge, unlocking Long Way Down. Now giving supplies to Kenny and Mike, they get into an argument, but walkers enter into the compound and we need to take care of them. After dealing with them, Luke appears in the compound and Clem and him devise a plan on what to do to escape. Clem is called to the Carver's office, witness Alvin all beat up. Carver and Clem talk a little and we get to compound yet again, unlocking One Long Day. Already in the compound, the group devises a plan after talking with Luke before, and we try to get the radios, sneaking by everyone, getting back to the compound and unlocking always the quiet ones. A new day arises and Clem is tasked to give Luke the radio, but is separated by Bonnie, and after leaving Bonnie, Luke is not there, getting caught and taken to the compound. Carver knows about the radios and after a while beats Kenny to the pulp, unlocking Not in Nottingham. The group devises a new plan to get out of the facility, and this one is alerting the giant herd of walkers into the area. In Carver's office, Clem turns on the speakers, Alvin protects Clem and dies, unlocking Come Hither. Carver tries to stop the group, but Clem drops on him. Kenny gets his ultimate revenge, and Clem and Rebecca witness everything, unlocking Rehabilitated. With the herd closing in, we bathe ourselves and Walker gets. Troy gets shot, Carlo gets shot, Sarah runs away, and Sarita gets bitten, making Clementine decide to cut her hand or kill the Walker, which ultimately I do the latter, finishing the episode and unlocking Eye of the Storm. After the chaotic ending of episode 3, episode 4 starts the same way. The group gets separated, unlocking Best Laid Plans, and Rebecca and Clem join Jane in the efforts of getting out of the compound. After walking and getting some character exposition, the group rejoin Mike, Bonnie, Kenny, and Sarita, where the latter is almost dying due to the bite. Kenny gets an outburst towards Clem, so Clem goes help Jane to find Sarah, Luke, and Nick. We unlock Pathless Travel, fight Sarah's glasses, find Nick zombified and put him out of his misery. Clem and Jane avoid a group of walkers to get to Sarah and Luke, but when almost reaching them, the walkers are already in their tail. Sarah is not cooperating with everyone, so Clem needs to decide to whether wake Sarah up or let her get eaten by walkers. I've decided to wake her up before the walker gets to us, unlocking a heavy burden, and everyone gets back to the camp. Clem talks to Kenny, and he steps up to Rebecca with the baby. Clem goes to help Jane to find a safe place for everyone, unlocking Making an Observation. And we see a kid named Arvo storing a lot of meds in the trash can. I decided not to take the meds, but Jane takes some, and he's off to his group. Clem goes off to help Bonnie and Mike in the museum, unlocking history lesson, and with everyone help, we get more supplies to help deliver the baby. Already in the main camp, Rebecca water breaks, and then a herd of walkers appears. While trying to block off the entrance, the deck collapses, killing Sarah in the end, unlocking I'll Fall Down. Rebecca as a baby boy, Jen leaves, and the group takes off in the morning to the road, unlocking On Foot. While on the journey, Rebecca takes some time to rest, and we see Arvo with his group. Rebecca dies and reanimates, so we call for help, Kenny shoots her, and the war begins, finishing the episode and unlocking Beyond the Trees. Coming back to finish episode 5, the war is ongoing between Arvo's group and Clem's group. We get the baby, kill Arvo's sister, and Jane saves Kenny by coming back and unlocking Blood and Iron. Arvo is now our hostage and he is leading the way to his encampment. The group stops, treating Luke's and Kenny's wounds, and we get to our next checkpoint, unlocking Miles to Go, where we have some character exposition with everyone in the group, unlocking Rite of Frost. Already in the morning, we finally arrive at the house, and the group needs to pass through a frozen lake. All is going well until Arvo makes a run for it, and Kenny goes after him. Then Luke gets wrapped and falls in the ice. Clem tries to save him, but to no avail, and Jane saves her, going to the house, unlocking Center Cannot Hold. In the house, Clem gets treated, and we see a car, so we help Kenny with it. We get some more character exposition through Bonnie and Jane. Kenny gets the car working, and we spend the night in. After waking up, we see Bonnie, Mike, and Arvo making a run for it without us. Clem stands her ground up and gets shot by Arvo, losing her consciousness, dreaming with Lee, and unlocking all the Dark Knight. After waking up, Jane and Kenny are arguing for the millionth time, and everyone gets separated during a car crash, unlocking We Slowly Drove. Clem gets to the rest stop, unlocking Kindly Stop For Me. Kenny and Jenny argue for the millionth one time, now becoming physical, and we decide to let Kenny win, picking up Alvin Jr. on the way to Wellington. After arriving, the community is overcrowded and isn't accepted anyone else, but Kenny makes a plea to let Clem and AJ in. However, I have decided to stay with Kenny, and Clem and him set off to another destination, finishing the episode and the season, unlocking All the Dead Lie Down. With my sights set on season 3, I continue on playing. We meet a new cast: Javier, David, Mariana, Gabriel, and Kate. Episode 1 begins with the death of Javier and David's father, which aligns with the first day of the apocalypse. After some character exposition, Javier and David's dad wakes up but as a walker. They kill him, and then David sets off to the hospital and Javier goes to another place. Some years pass, and Javier, Kate, Mariana, and Gabe are still together on the road, and give a character exposition down till they reach a junkyard, unlocking Family Road Trip. After siphoning some gas from cars and the ambulance, Ravi and Gabe discover a shed with a lot of supplies and beds. Ravi decides to keep moving, and by getting the gas tank, he encounters a hostile group that owns the shed. Ravi is taken hostage and fights before being knocked out and being separated from the family, unlocking unexpected guests. While traveling with the hostile group, a tree collapses and Javier shoots one of the guys. The one who caused the tree to fall down was none other than Clementine. And then we are taken as a hostage to the neighboring community, Prescott, unlocking In Her Charge. After arriving at Prescott, Javi and Clem help the community with the herd of walkers, and we meet Tripp, Francine, and Conrad, while Clem deals with some business. After a while, Javi hears some commotion, and Javi fights with Eli, and in the end, Clem's gun goes off, killing Eli. Tripp puts us behind bars, unlocking Deal Gone Bad, and Javi gets treated and gets to planning to go to the junkyard to reunite with his family. We get a flashback with Kenny, AJ, and Clem to know what happened to them. Clem is learning how to drive and loses control of the car, crashing it. Clem and AJ are safe, but Kenny is thrown out of the car, breaking his bones. Clenny sacrifices in the end to help Clem and AJ escape, and he dies, but guaranteeing that they are safe, unlocking a hard goodbye. Already in a car to the junkyard, the group dispatches some walkers, saving Gabe, Mariana, and Kate. However, Mariana is snapped out of nowhere and dies whilst retrieving her headphones. Kate gets shot, and Ravi decides to stand and fight with Clem, unlocking To the Rescue and finishing the episode. With no more delays, episode 2 starts with more backstory of the Garcias and Javi, David's, and Kate's lovely relationships, and Javi suddenly wakes up with the fight over and decides to marry Mary. We learn about the new frontier and they drive off to Prescott, with Kate already operated and more stable. We get to talk with Gabe and we get attacked by the new frontier, unlocking bloody business. We stand our ground, helping Prescott, the new frontier, as a hostage, but by Ravi shooting one of them, Francine gets killed, and an all-out war starts. Ravi tries to defend Prescott with the help of everyone, but they turn out to be too much and they overrun with the community with walkers, whilst the group makes their escape, unlocking Enemy at the Gate. Conrad gets angry at Ravi because he shot Francine, but everything worsens when Gabe picks up the weapon and threatens to shoot Conrad. However, the peace continues and they go off to another place, Richmond, unlocking On the Road Again. The group arrives at the station that is blocked by cars. Javi checks the group morale, and works to get the cars out of the way, and after doing so, Eleanor goes to Richmond to get even more medical help for Kate. But everyone else is surrounded by walkers. On the rooftops, the group meets Jesus and discovers that the New Frontier has taken over Richmond and temporarily joins the group to help them go through Richmond, unlocking Breaking Through. We get another Clem flashback where she meets Ava and talks about the New Frontier. Back in the present, Clem confesses that she was once part of the New Frontier. However, the conversation stops when the group witnesses a large herd of walkers in the tunnels and they escape it. Before exiting the tunnels, Conrad confronts Clem about the New Frontier and threatens Gabe, so Ravi decides to kill him. Clem separates from us and we exit out of the tunnel, unlocking Ruff's Justice, making our way to Richmond after confessing what happened in the tunnel with Conrad. Already at the gate and with Kate with the group, the New Frontier demands the group to drop the weapons, and by avoiding it, we make a plea to let Kate in to be operated. One of the leaders of the New Frontier walks in and is revealed that is none other than Ravi's brother, David, unlocking In the City, ending the episode. Episode 3 starts off with a flashback of Kate and Ravi getting some supplies, getting attacked by one of Gabe's friends already zombified. They go to their house, and by discussing leaving the house, Gabe writes a note for his dad and the group leaves. Already in the present day, David takes Kate to be treated and the rest of the group is taken to the quarantine until David comes back for Ravi, unlocking Southern Hospitality. They talk about what happened between their last reunion and they set off to the hospital to see how Kate is doing. Kate takes a pain, get Ravi and her alone so she can warn Ravi about David. We meet Dr. Lingard and the other leaders, Joan and Clinton, and we will talk about the events of what happened. Max, the one from the junkyard, appeared. Ravi and him go off blaming each other for the events that have occurred, making Ravi and his group exiled from Richmond, unlocking Building for Tomorrow. After the group gets taken out of Richmond, Ava gives us some supplies and direction to go to. In the woods, the group gets attacked by a horde, and before Ravi is taken out, Clementine comes back to save him, joining the group and telling the group the truth and the story of why she left the New Frontier. We get a flashback to where AJ is very sick and needs an injection to get better. However, Dr. Lingard stops Clem before doing anything else, and the rest of the New Frontier is alerted, taking AJ away from Clem's arms. Clem bids farewell to the New Frontier and ultimately to AJ, unlocking Shots Fired. The group goes to the warehouse, but a horde of walkers attacks. Ravi opens up the warehouse for the group and David meets them there. They talk about some of the New Frontier dealings, but they figure out that this warehouse is full of supplies from other communities, and Max and his gang were raiding the communities under Joan's orders. Both groups face off, but in the end, Ravi's group claim victory after killing the leader of the group, Badger, and taking Max as hostage, unlocking divine intervention. The group, joined by David, makes an effort to raid Richmond. Ravi goes to get Kate and Gabe so they could meet Ava and David, unlocking Crime and Punishment. Everyone joins and Max helps out, outing Joan and her ulterior motives, but everyone in Richmond takes their side. Ravi and David are taken hostage, unlocking Close to the Edge, and finishing off Episode 3. In Episode 4, we get another flashback to show Ravi and David's rocky relationship. Already in the present, Ravi and David are in the cell, and after a few moments, Joan takes David out for questioning, leaving Ravi alone to escape. With the help of Gabe, we get out of the cell, unlocking Faces in a Crowd. Ravi and Gabe go to the apartments to meet up with everyone and make plans to get out of Richmond in the best way possible. We advise Trip with some affairs between him and Eleanor and go to Richmond Armory, unlocking Across the Water. After getting some weapons, we fight the guard and go directly to the medical facility, unlocking Prayers of the Dead. In the medical facility, Clem is searching while Dr. Lingard is unconscious. Clem takes care of Ravi's wound, while we get another flashback about Kenny, and after getting kicked out of the New Frontier, Dr. Lingard wakes up and begs us to kill with an lethal injection, saying in return where Calvin is. After doing so, Blood for Blood is unlocked, and we go to the apartments and devise up a new plan to take care of the New Frontier. However, during a discussion, Gabe tells the truth about what happened to Conrad, making Trip and Eleanor kick the group out. Going to where the Richmond vehicles are, the group infiltrates and takes a truck, and while they go and try to hotwire the car, the nearby horde tears the defenses down and the group goes to Richmond. without much problem, unlocking Smoke and Fire. After talking with Kate and giving a shot to their relationship, Eva calls them in the walkie and Ravi goes to the main plaza where everyone is witnessing David's execution. Ravi is called out and needs to decide between Trip and Eva, so they decided to save Trip. However, Joan shoots Trip instead and we shoot Joan. Ravi helps David and Clem while Kate crashes to the barricade, blowing up the truck, unlocking the price of justice and finishing the episode. Directly to the episode 5, we get another flashback between Ravi, David and their dad in the moment they discover that their dad is not doing too well health-wise. Ravi promises his dad that he will try to take care of David and love him. Going back to the present, the herd has run over the town, Kate appears and the group goes into the apartments, unlocking sole survivors. After some arguing and discussion of plans, they go talk with Eleanor, who is attending to the wounded, and the situation escalates even more because of David. More arguing occurs, and David leaves to the rooftops, unlocking Promises and Lies, where Ravi has an honest conversation with David about their relationship. The group decides to escape through the highway, taking care of some walkers in the meantime, passing through a dangerous and collapsed part of the highway, where Eva saves Ravi, dying in the process. After some walking, they pass through another obstacle, no casualties, and reach the water tower, where Clem suggests Ravi the walker gets plan to get into the garage. After some arguing, David wants to deviate from the plan and starts eating Ravi, but Ravi sticks with his promise to their dad to keep loving David no matter what. Some walkers attack the group and David takes escape to another place. Ravi then decides that helping Richmond is a far better option than going after David, taking a bulldozer with them, unlocking family values. After returning to Richmond, Ravi helps the group and Jesus to open the Richmond gates and to block the walker access. After dealing with most of the walkers, Ravi goes after David and Gabe. However, David is already dead and Gabby is bitten, asking for a gun to end his own misery, unlocking Dark Victory. Some days pass by and Richmond is thriving. Jesus bids farewell to the group, so does Clem. However, she has a final task before embarking on her journey to find Alvin, cutting her hair, unlocking Second Chances. After some final words, Clem heads off to the sunset, unlocking the dawn breaks and finishing the game. With 3 games down and 3 more to go, I went on to the final season of the main story, and in this one I need to tread carefully because there are some missable achievements and some that you need to come back to a later moment of the game. We start off with a short recap of the events of the other seasons and go to Clem and AJ driving to search for supplies in a railway station. Before entering the station, we find, after exploring a little bit, a deer skull, one of the many collectible items we can find throughout this season. Already inside the station, after some exploring, Clem needs to decide between getting keys of some walker couple after killing them or let AJ go through a small gap. I decided to do the latter, and after getting some supplies, we activate a trap and space blows up, alerting most of the walkers. We run away to the car, and after dealing with most of the walkers, we crash. However, someone helps us before passing out. We wake up in a house, get a bladed weapon, and after trying to get out, we meet 2 kids, Ten and Marlon, whom the latter helped us in a car crash. We are inside Erickson boarding school for troubled youth, and our next task is to find AJ by following the music. After entering the main hall and following the music, we can find plastic flowers, which is another collectible. We meet Ruby and then AJ. Clem needs to tickle him to unlock Tickle Monster and meets Louis before Marlon asks Clem's help to take down some walkers. Louis teaches Clem to use traps, and by using every single trap made by Louis, nothing wasted is unlocked. We dispatch even more walkers and meet the rest of the group. Our next task is to meet everyone before dinner. Before doing so, we can get another collectible, real flowers, near the cooking pot. AJ apologizes to Ruby, mourns Ten's sisters with Ten and Violet. We meet Willie, Mitch, Omar, Asim, where we unlock Social Butterfly, and Brody, where AJ finally apologizes to Marlon after an earlier accident. Dinner was served, we get a lot of character exposition, and we went to our dorm. There are some art supplies, AJ uses them, deciding to keep them for later, and we get a drawing by AJ, another collectible. After passing the night and unlocking End of the Road, we meet Ten and Rosie, where Marlon tells Clem that Rosie is not a bad dog and pets her, unlocking good girl. Marlon asks us to decide to fish or hunt. There are achievements in either decision, but if you decide to go fish, you'll take care of the collectibles, which is the hardest part. Deciding to fish, we go with Brody and Violet and tasked to get some spears. We get a cat skull as a collectible and find the art drawing in the cabin, unlocking Lost Love. We get the spears and get to fish. To get the achievement, we need to hit 3 fish 3 times in a row without missing. At the start, it can be a little bit difficult, but after reloading, sometimes you will get the timings right. After eating all the 3 fish upstream will be unlocked. After going back, the group witnesses someone has tampered with the traps and weird cigarette butts. With not much food in hand, the clan decides to go back to the train station so they can get more food, even though it is beside Marilyn's safe zone. After dealing with the walkers, AJ gets some more food before someone who smokes weird cigarettes appears demanding food. He talks a little bit before Clem pushes Abel to the walkers. Going back to the school, everyone is happy because of the large quantities of foods. However, Brody and Marlon are not too happy with it. After some character exposition, 10 offers to draw Clem and AJ in the drawing, and he gives it to us, unlocking Scavenger. Going back to our dorm, we unlock Fitting In, and before sleeping in, we do have the time to place all the collectibles we found during this episode, and doing so to make it look nice unlocks. After waking up with some weird yelling, Clem follows the sound to the basement, where she finds Marlon and Brody yelling. After some major character exposition, we learn that 10 sisters didn't die, but in fact Marlon traded them away for safety. Marlon gets angry and kills Brody with a smack in the head, leaving Clementine trapped with a zombified Brody. Killing her, we go outside and AJ is making a friend to Marlon, and everything gets to worsen after Marlon gets AJ's gun. Marlon says that Clem did kill Brody, and Clem tries to defend herself. When everything calms down, AJ shoots Marlon in the head, unlocking Protector and ending the episode. I immediately started episode 2. Clem and AJ are talking about what happened on the prior night, until 10 interrupts saying that they are holding a funeral for Brody and Marlon. Everyone is tense about what happened, and the group votes to decide whether or not Clem should stay, and the majority wins, deciding that Clem and AJ should leave. Violet and Lewis are escorting AJ and Clem to the woods. After leaving them, Abel appears without an arm, and then another person holds Clem at a gunpoint, which turns out to be Lily from season 1. They give some character exposition to each other, and then Clem sees Violet and Lewis asking Violet to shoot Lily with an arrow. Abel shoots AJ, and then Clem and AJ escape from them. However, they are surrounded by walkers. After dealing with them, an unusual walker appears, helping Clem in the process. She takes the shrapnel of AJ's body, and the walker reveals himself as James, a former member of the Whisperers, a group that cuts the flesh of walkers and uses them as mask and skin. They talk a little bit and decide to head to school when morning comes, unlocking We Are Staying. In the school grounds, everyone sees AJ injuries and Ruby takes care of him. We talk with Violet and tell her that the school needs to prepare to go into war, so they plan their defenses. Ruby, Mitch and Clem goes to the greenhouses to get some materials, and beside the greenhouse there is a wild boar skull that you need to pick up as a collectible. After entering and dealing with the walkers inside the greenhouse, Clem can explore around and needs to inspect everything that she can find, starting from the mushrooms as a collectible and eating it up, unlocking edible, to the plantar bed, shovel, lawnmower, shears, then finding barbed wire and fertilizer, then opening the other part of the greenhouse, killing Miss Martin, finding a Venus flytrap as a collectible, unlocking Gatherer, then going to the Bleaker flask, chalkboard and test tubes, unlocking Botanist, and also getting the igniters and the propane. We lastly picked up the other stuff and buried Miss Martin, unlocking Old Ghost. We talked with Lewis in our dorm, then talked with AJ, and then finally placing our episode 2 collectibles, unlocking Personal Touch. Clem picks up a new shirt for AJ, we have a time skip, and then having some nightmares. We witness now that the school is well fortified and Clem help with the rest of the fortification, such as looking at the barricade, graffiti, flipping the table, looking at the walls, pile of ads, barbed wire, the zombified ad on the stick, the flagpole, talked with Mitch about the bomb, looked at the rubble, and then checked everyone's graves, unlocking Be Prepared, and petted Rosie to unlock Great Girl, before talking with Lewis and accepting his challenge of hitting the target every time, unlocking Sir Shot. Talk with Violet, and the group is reunited one last time before the war. You can decide if you want to befriend or either fall in love with Lewis or Violet. I decided to go with Lewis and choose every botanic answer to unlock Bonded. Then we needed to defend the school. Lily's group attacks. We try to reason with her, but then Tanny is manipulated by Lily. Then a large group of walkers enter the school ground. Lily kills Mitch. We kill some of the troops, incapacitate Abel, save Lewis, and defend the school of walkers, unlocking Deadeye. The group counts their losses, but awful because they managed to capture Abel, ending the episode, unlocking Defender. Before going to the next episode, I replayed episode 3 to the point where you need to decide if you want to have a platonic relationship or a real relationship with either Violet or Lewis, and chose Lewis again, but chose all the flirt answers. In the end, kissing him, unlocking Moving Fast. Also replayed episode 1 until the point where you need to choose between going fishing or hunting to get the missing achievements. I selected hunting and first decided to went with the sim to get 2 rabbits, and after doing that without fail you'll unlock rabbit season. Going back to the decision, I opted for Lewis, and after landing all the strikes in a row you will unlock Where's the Candy. In episode 3 everyone collects themselves after their losses. Clem needs to integrate Abel to find out where his group is staying. After entering the bunker, you can get the school pendant and the sketch pad as 2 of the collectibles for this episode. And if you pet Rosie, Best Girl will unlock. Now you will be questioning Abel to know the whereabouts of his group. And you need to be nice to him during the interrogation until the point he's about to give the code. Then just be mean and he will give you the code. Then you need to mercy kill him. Clem and the group will go to where the boat is, needing to check and plan the attack. You will encounter a horseshoe and a rabbit foot as part of the collectibles. By checking every single intel spot, all seeing will be unlocked. At a later point, you'll meet Minnie and she will tell you some useful information about the Delta. Clem and AJ separate from the others to request some help from James, and after arriving, the place will be overrun with walkers and he requests some help. To unlock another achievement, Clem can't kill the walkers, only stun them. This can be a little tricky and take some time, but at some point it will get easier. After a while, Mercy will be unlocked, and James will lead you into his barn after Clem requests some help. You can pick up the wind chimes and a toy as collectibles, unlocking Hunter, and right after, AJ will be near a salt lake. You will need to encourage AJ to lick it to unlock Did You Lick It? James, before accepting Clem's proposal, he will ask her to walk into the barn full of walkers and stay there for a while peacefully. I won't lie to you, I actually love this moment because it taught the group that walkers sometimes can be very peaceful. After doing so and convincing James to help us out, Clem and AJ will go back to the school, unlocking Whispers. Everyone is organizing a party before the rescue mission, so we do have some time to place all of our episode 3 collectibles in our room, unlocking Feels Like Mine. We help out everyone to organize the party, Willie to name his bomb and get to the party, getting a lot of character exposition, and everyone gets to sleep, unlocking Nightlight. Clementine dreams about Lee and talks to him about the events that have happened and are about to happen, making this a super tender moment for everyone. AJ wakes up Clem for the rescue mission, going to the shoreline, meeting James as well, and preparing to start the attack. We get James' character exposition and advance. You will need to hide behind the walkers when the light is on you. This can prove a little difficult, but you will get the hang of it. After successfully getting to the entrance, there will be some walkers on the bridge where you need to shoot all of them without missing to unlock personal space. And after the ship, shoreline will be unlocked. Already inside the ship, you will need to avoid all the guards, and when the time comes, use the special code given by Abel to unlock as a mouse. Clem puts the bomb on the boiler and goes to save the rest of the group. Minnie at the start lets Clem talk with everyone, however, she stabs Clem in the back by entrapping her in the cell with Violet. After checking the scratches on the wall, Tally unlocks, and we talk with the group, devising a plan. Lily comes back and she threatens everyone and tells what up with Minnie and Sophie. Lily orders their guard to cut Louis' finger, and Clem tells AJ to not do anything. AJ is taken by Lily and Clem frees herself, beating Minnie and freeing the rest of the group. At the top of the deck, Lily has James, Ten and AJ, so Clem sneaks, and before anything happens, she slams Lily to the ground, fighting for everyone. At a certain point, AJ picks up the gun and we need to decide whether or not we kill Lily. So I decided to kill Lily and end the suffering once and for all. James was devastated because we promised not to let AJ kill anyone else, but decided to kill Lily. Before anything else happens, the bomb goes off and the boat explodes, unlocking Leader and ending the episode. On to episode 4 and the final one, we go straight to the action, with the boat turning and we needing to get out of there. AJ and Clem escape the boat by a sliver, deal with the guard and meet up with the group in the shoreline, with no major casualties, other than Violet becoming blind. They see their escape route, but need to pass through a good majority of the guards and Minnie. Clem meets up with Ten and James in the cave, and they enter it. In the cave, Clem picks up a crystal and a toy as a part of this episode's collectibles, and also find resources to make a torch, which we are in dire need. With the walkers almost getting into the cave, Clem uses a lock to pass through the other side, and after getting to the nether chamber, James decides to punish AJ and Clem because of Lily's death, and after some arguing and fighting, James leaves and doesn't take his mask. After leaving, Clem needs to decide whether or not AJ is ready to make his own decisions or not. In this save file, I decided that he is more than ready, which will unlock an achievement in a few moments. Before leaving, AJ picks up James' mask and the second to last collectible, and we get out of the cave, unlocking red water. Clem and AJ learned that back in episode 2, Violet, Ten and Asim were the ones who voted to keep Clem and AJ, and after a short while, Louis comes back and they head to school. After crossing the bridge, the group hears Minnie with a large group of walkers coming in our direction. We need to evade Minnie's shots and then fight her. Ultimately, Minnie will injure Clem in the leg and will manipulate Ten into going with her, so Louis tries to stop him. If you decide that AJ is ready to make his own choices, AJ will shoot Ten, saving Louis in the process. Clem and AJ get separated from Louis, and then the two of them climb a cliff, where Clementine is bitten in the leg and decide to keep moving, unlocking Goodbye. After moments of walking, they locate James' barn and go inside it. Clem is unable to do anything, so AJ needs to get rid of every single walker and try to secure the barn. At a point, you need to decide if AJ will let Clem turn or kill her. After deciding, AJ will lift up the axe and strike, unlocking Final Lesson. We immediately go to a flashback to when Clem saves AJ from the ranch and go off to their adventures, unlocking Better Life. Already in the present, AJ is fishing, and inside the shack, after putting the spear down, we pick up the last collectible, a skull fragment, unlocking Survivor. After exiting the shack, AJ sees Clem's hat in the river, and failing to pick it up, Rosie picks it up for him, and in that moment, AJ sees the zombified Ten and shoots him, unlocking Time Bomb. Going back to the school, we see everyone that survived, and after talking with the group, we found out that Clem is still alive, but without a foot. They talk a little bit, and AJ goes to his room, where we have the opportunity to place the remaining collectibles, unlocking Home at last. After placing Clem's hat, we unlock Savior, end the episode, and end the game. However, we still have one achievement left in the game. You need to replay episode 4 all over again until the cave point. And you need to decide that AJ is not ready to make his own decisions. After we arrive at the bridge part, AJ will have the gun in his hand, ready to shoot, but not confident enough. So Louis will throw Ten to the other side and sacrifice himself. Clem and AJ will get separated, but now from Ten, and will climb the cliff till getting beaten. However, because we decided that AJ is not ready to make his own decisions, we unlock the last achievement, You and Me. Going over to the Walking Dead Michonne, this will be pretty straightforward, because you unlock the achievements just by playing the game. We meet our protagonist, Michonne, fighting the ghosts of her past and walkers, and at a crucial moment, we decide we must keep fighting and someone saves us, unlocking Remember Me. Few weeks go by and we are in the boat in the company of Pete, Siddiq, Berto and Oak, and receiving signals from the radio, and after playing with it a little bit, we heard someone on the other side. However, the boat's stuck in something, so we need to help out and figure out what to do. Michonne sees a ferry in the distance and goes with Pete to see if it has materials to repair the boat, unlocking companionship. Already in the boat traveling to the ferry, some walkers attack Michonne and Pete, and they need to swim to the shore near the ferry. We search a little bit of the surroundings before climbing up to the top, unlocking dead in the water, and surveying the area, opening up a door to the inside of the ferry and witnessing a massacre. Pete and Michonne survey the area until they find a room with supplies, so we search for more supplies before hearing a noise, seeing two siblings putting guns at us, and a group of walkers surrounding everyone. We clear them off. One of the survivors tries to run away, and Michonne decides to let her go. But a group of armed survivors burst into us, taking the survivors and us hostage to their hideout, unlocking stolen goods. Michonne and Pete learn that this group of survivors have a history with one and the other, and that Randall, the leader of this team, is taking us to his sister, the leader of this group of survivors. After arriving at Monroe, we meet Norma. They take Greg and Pete to another place, and Michonne and Sam are imprisoned, unlocking community. After searching for a way out and being hunted by the ghosts of her daughters, Michonne devises a plan with Sam to try to get out of the cell. We hit Randall hard when he tries to get us to Norma, however, he retaliates really hard and takes Michonne to Norma, where she interrogates Michonne about what happened. We tell our side of the story, and obviously the truth. However, they get Greg, and of course is scared, lies and gets beaten up by Randall, unlocking lies. They take Michonne, Sam and Greg to Zachary's room, where Randall forces Zachary to do something, and due to the pressure, he accidentally shoots Greg, killing him. Taking care of Greg, we don't let Sam kill Zachary, unlocking Landfall, and finishing the episode. Going to episode 2, Michonne accepts Zachary's help to get out of Monroe, so they get Pete and they are confronted by Randall and Norma. Sam drops down on Randall and Michonne goes in on Norma. They both take care of their opponent and spot a boat where the group can escape. We let Pete go on his own accord and drop to the boat, taking care of one of the guards with using a flare gun, and Michonne and Sam will sail away, unlocking burning bridges. Already in the shoreline, Michonne uses her technique of navigating 3 walkers, and after that they run away before Randall and his group catch up to them, unlocking herd mentality. Sam and Michonne are going towards Sam's house and they need to climb an infrastructure while Randall is shooting at us. Sam gets hit in the shoulder, but escapes, unlocking steep climbs. Sam gives us some exposition to our character while we are traveling in the forest to our house. Sam is very weak, so Michonne picks her up and enters her house, doing a bullet removal to her. We meet their brothers and their dad, remove the bullet and close the wound, unlocking emergency room. Michonne has hallucinations about her daughters and has a look around the apartment, picking up the phone to her friend and then coming back to real life, unlocking distant memories. Michonne has a talk with Paige and with Sam's dad about what happened to their life before the apocalypse, what happened to Greg. He requests our help, and when opening the gate to remove a walker arm, Randall sneaks up in the distance and shoots him in the head. Randall and his team walk into the property, so Michonne decides to take care of everyone one by one, unlocking party crashers. Paige struggles with Randall, so Michonne gives some help, and after some moments of fighting, Michonne is able to lock him up. Michonne and Paige question him, then Norma radios Randall for an update, and she threatens Michonne that she is coming for him. We have the ability to kill Randall, but we don't do it because he is a powerful bargaining piece, unlocking quiet time, finishing the episode. Already in the episode 3, we start with a flashback to when Michonne joins Pete's ship for the first time and is having a nice chat with Oak, unlocking fun on the shore. Coming back to the present time, the group is deciding on what to do as a defense plan against Norma, and she tells Michonne that she has people on her group, so we need to be careful with Randall. With this threat, an unexpected guest is unlocked, and we put Randall in the living room and decide to bury Sam's dad, unlocking Char memory. After doing that, Michonne prepares every single one to fight, giving them weapons or tips to survive, while Michonne hallucinates with her daughters. Sam and her brothers have the funeral for their dad, and while we talk with Paige, Norma arrives with her group, unlocking Dark Sacrifice. Michonne opens up the gate and stands against Norma, who has Pete as a hostage, freeing up as a sign of good fate. More of their group appears, having the other two as hostages. We show them Randall, they shoot Sadiq, and the bloodbath starts, with Randall getting killed, unlocking a storm is brewing. Norma fights with Michonne, and after they scrap, Michonne gets the upper hand, slices Norma's arm off, and letting her get killed by walkers, while Michonne enters the house and barricades it. The remaining bandits throw Molotov cocktails to burn the whole house down. Michonne gets a mix of real life and her hallucinations and rescues Sam's brothers, and before escaping, Michonne needs to decide whether or not she will stay with her kids or not. I have decided that Michonne should escape, and this will unlock LF No Fury. Everyone escapes to the shoreline, and Pete welcomes Michonne aboard for the time being to stay with the crew. Michonne sees her kids one last time and heads off to the boat, unlocking Farewell, finishing the episode and the game. With 5 games played and 187 achievements unlocked, you will say that this challenge has been completed, right? Well, no, because we still have the definitive edition to play, which includes the all 5 games, which can be tedious at a certain point, but nice because I get to experience different decisions and explore new paths. Besides that, there are only 23 achievements for the all 5 games, so to speed things up, I will tell what I choose differently and say the achievements when they pop up. Ready? For Season 1, Episode 1, I decided that Lee and Clementine should only look for help during nighttime, saved Sean instead of Doug, didn't let the woman from the hotel shoot herself, causing a scuffle, saved Doug instead of Carly, and unlocked Everything's Gonna Be Okay for completing Episode 1. For Episode 2, I gave the axe to Larry, shot Jolene, tried to help Larry, didn't kill Danny, neither killed Andy, didn't take the supplies, and unlocked is not stealing if you need it. In Episode 3, didn't tell anyone about Lee's past, didn't leave Lily at the side of the road, fought Kenny about Doug's situation, let Kenny shoot Doug, saved Krista first, and unlocked Lend Me Your Ears. In Episode 4, I threatened Vernon, didn't bring Clem to the Crawford raid, let Ben go, killing him in the process, and unlocked Penultimate. For Episode 5, I sawed off Lee's arm, decided to let Lee turn, and unlocked What Remains. In the 400 Days DLC, in Visa's story, I decided to go with Danny. In Shell's story, I decided to execute the boy. In Bonnie's story, I told Leland the truth. In Wyatt's story, nothing changed. Russell's story, I didn't hide and killed the old couple. Finally, Tavia only didn't bring Shell and Vince, unlocking loose ends. In Season 2, Episode 1, I didn't kill the dog, didn't give water to the bandit, went with Nick and unlocked Split Decision. For Episode 2, left Nick in the shack, sat with Luke and the group, didn't convince Nick was a good person, making him get killed a little later, stayed with Kenny, and unlocked Reunion. In Episode 3, didn't watch Kenny kill Carter, chopped Sarita's hand, and unlocked Eye of the Storm. For Episode 4, let Sarah stay, getting herself eaten, took Arvo's medicine, decided to rest because of Rebecca, and unlocked Beyond the Trees. In Episode 5, decided to cover Luke, shot Kenny, decided to stay with Jane, let the family stay with us in the Carver's camp, and unlocked All the Dead Lie Down. In The New Frontier, Episode 1, didn't shoot the driver, went with Eleanor to the junkyard, and unlocked Family Road Trip. For Episode 2, I only did Neil enrichment, unlocking Blood Business. In Episode 3, let Badger turn, executed Max, decided to leave with Kate, and unlocked Southern Hospitality. For Episode 4, didn't kill Dr. Lingard, tried to save Ava, and unlocked Faces in the Crowd. In Episode 5, I fought with David and ran after seeing David get killed, saving Gabe, and Kate disappeared, unlocking Soul Survivors. In the final season, Episode 1, I killed the Walker couple to get the key, gave the art supplies to Violet, gave half of the supplies to Abel, and unlocked Protector. In Episode 2, told Violet and Louis to run, decided to befriend more Violet, rescue Violet and unlocked Defender. For Episode 3, tortured Abel, decided to let him turn into a walker, told AJ to attack the guard, and they didn't let AJ shoot Lily, making Lily kill James in the process, unlocking Leader. In episode 4, I only didn't shot 10, unlocking Savior. In a Michonne game, I didn't let Sam do anything to Randall and told her to shoot Zachary, unlocking Landfall. For episode 2, I went after Randall, didn't let Pete go away, killed Randall and unlocked Quiet Time. Finally, in episode 3, only stayed with Michonne's daughter, killing Sam in the process, unlocking Farewell. I've unlocked all of the achievements, but how did I do? I unlocked all of the 210 achievements in a little over 88 hours, starting this challenge right after I finished recording Fallout 3 back in July, so you can see how much time this took. As a review for the games, I love playing Season 1, 2 and the final season, the Michonne games not so much, and dreaded playing the New Frontier, because it didn't give me much of an opportunity to see the impact of my choices, basically being a talking simulator. For the most part, I recommend everyone to play these games, because they have a very interesting and beautiful story, with amazing characters and amazing moments. Obviously, you just need the Telltale Definitive Series, and you don't need to play all of these games like I did. Did I struggle to finish this challenge? Of course. Will I do this all over again? Probably yes, but for different games. But I won't lie to you that it was an experience. Not sure if it was good or bad, but an experience. If you are interested in any more videos like this, or the previous ones, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video, and see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.